Hello, this is Tova Kinoka from the BCCJ Executive Committee, and it's my great pleasure today to be talking to Kirsten O'Connor from Quest, and we're going to be talking about an amazing new venture that Kirsten has started up. So it's the Quest Learning Support and Therapy Hub. This is due to be launching this autumn, I believe, and I know the crowdfunding campaign has already started. So really interested, Kirsten, to find out more. What is this? So,
hi, Tova, thank you so much, and thanks to the BCCJ for giving me an opportunity to speak today. You're right, we are opening the Quest Learning Support and Therapy Hub in the autumn, and this has been a project that I've been working and talking and thinking about for a long time, over the time, even while I was at the British School in Tokyo, but also beyond that now as I've been with Quest. It's something that's been on my mind a long time, because learning support in Tokyo is quite difficult to secure for parents. And I think one of the key questions that many people want to know the answer to is, what does learning support mean? Because of course, that's an expression that sounds a bit woolly. And when I say, it's the strategies and interventions that we put in place in school or at home to help a child with their learning, of course, that sounds like it's full of teacher and school jargon. In the UK, we might use the term SEN or special educational needs, but learning support is a much more global term. And I think with this international community that we're working with, I think that becomes much clearer in terms of what we'll be doing. But to be even clearer, really, we know there are a range of conditions that mean that children need support with their learning. Things like autism, dyslexia. There are, of course, many more. Things like dyspraxia and dyscalculia. There's an endless list. And children have very specific and individual learning needs because they've got a learning profile that makes learning at the same pace as others in a mainstream classroom quite difficult. And for most children learning difficulties, mainstream classrooms and mainstream schools are absolutely the right place. They do, however, need specialist support to ensure they make good progress. So some examples of what learning support might look like could be, some children might need a one-to-one support teacher for part of the day to make sure they're able to access the curriculum or that the curriculum is differentiated accurately enough. Some children need one-to-one speech therapy, speech and language therapy, or physical therapy, occupational therapy each week. A strategy that is sometimes used during learning support sessions is pre-learning a text or pre-reading a text or pre-learning a topic before they learn something in class. And of course, then that's a very individualized approach, but there are also things that we'll do, things like group sessions on things like social skills or pragmatic language, which are better done in a group than one-to-one. So learning support is very varied, but at its core, it's helping children access their learning and differentiating the kind of support that we need for each child based on their own profile.
Right. So that support can be sort of in the classroom alongside the main teacher, or it can be in separate sessions, sort of one-to-one or group, as you described.
Absolutely. And, different children need different things, different conditions need different things, different schools and environments need different things. So the ideal situation is that things are individualized and tailored to a family and to a child. And so with the hub, what we're aiming to do is to have a range of different services, which we'll talk about in a minute, that parents can secure for their child and build kind of a package of support that wraps around their child.
Right. So, I mean, obviously you're supporting families and the individual children with a particular issue, but I mean, what is the bigger problem you're trying to address here?
Yeah, there are three actually, and over the years I've kind of seen them repeat across many different profiles of families. The one being parents being able to find and source support. There's so many people doing great work in Tokyo, but still it's difficult to find. And particularly if you've just arrived from overseas, trying to actually secure and find support is challenging. So that's the first problem we're trying to solve. So people know there's a hub, you can come straight to the hub, we can consult and talk about where the issues are and where the solutions might lie. The second one is helping to make the support connected. by having full-time specialists within the hub, they will be able to work with the pupils, to work with parents, to work with schools, and moreover to work with each other to make sure the care and the support around each child is connected. Currently, it's quite difficult if parents are securing great support, but support might be in different parts of Tokyo or from different organizations, and overlapping those areas of support can sometimes be difficult. And so what we are hoping to do is to bring that into a much more cohesive experience, so that the child gets, maybe they may need speech therapy and occupational therapy, that those two therapists are talking together, also talking with the class teacher or with the learning support assistant to make sure the experience that the child has in an ongoing way is cohesive and connected. So that's the second one. And then the third one is for schools to be able to source training for their staff, and that was always something that I found as a head teacher previously. It was difficult to find training for our staff.
Right. Mm-hmm. Okay, so that's for the regular teachers who need to understand a particular condition better or something, and you offer workshops and things for that.
Yeah, absolutely, because children being in mainstream classroom is absolutely right for most children,
Mm-hmm.
but it is difficult when a child's got a very specific or unique learning profile, and that we're, teachers are not specialists in all of those things.
Right.
And teacher training doesn't always encompass training in all of those areas. So sometimes when a child joins a school may need to call up the hub and say, can you offer us, can we book 10 hours of training on, I don't know what it might be, Down syndrome or dyslexia or autism, so that our teachers feel more informed and can then work more cohesively and connectedly with the learning support staff that are supporting those children.
Yeah. Okay, great. So, I mean, could you just give us an overview of the different services that will be offered at this hub? I mean, you've kind of talked a little bit about some already, but what would be available there?
And this is something which is I'm pleased to say that over the years this will grow. We have to start somewhere, and so we're going to put a stake in the sand and get going. Our services, as I've said, are going to be tailored for individual children and families, but we will also have some group sessions. But we plan to start off with support for speech, or to be able to offer speech and language therapy, also occupational or physical therapy. So within our team, we'll have members who've got that specialism, and probably also ABA therapy as well at the beginning. We plan amongst our team we'll have a very small team to start off with, to have specialism in autism and dyslexia, and perhaps even Down syndrome as well. These are some of the areas that come up very regularly. Of course, there are lots of different conditions that students experience, but these are areas that come up quite often when we're talking. And as the hub grows over the next months and years, we will increase the team members, and then our range of services will be able to develop, because we will recruit for the kind of messages that we're getting from the community and where the pockets of need are.
Brilliant. And so you're aiming, I was going to ask the question, who are you aiming to help? But I think you've kind of answered that already. So you're helping not only the parents, but also the schools, and of course the individual students themselves. Is there anyone I've left off that?
Well, I think there's a couple of things actually. One, I think what we would like to support within the community, and this is perhaps particularly relevant and prevalent for the British Chamber community, is to support companies to know that if they're trying to recruit talent from overseas, and a family may have a child who's got a learning need, that company can say, there's a hub in the city, you'll be able to secure services there for your child. And I know that in the past, I've had direct experience of this, where families haven't been able to move to the city because they haven't been confident enough to know that they'll be able to secure those services. So that's one area. And of course, the child is at the centre of all of this, and we must make sure that that's always the case. But I think one thing to also mention there is parents. These kind of situations are difficult for parents, but we must also remember that when a child has got a specific learning challenge or difficulty, parents become incredible specialists in those conditions. They read everything, they follow every area of development of their child. And I feel that there's an opportunity to build a community within and among that, to make sure that we're able to share that specialism amongst others. So we're hoping to be able to develop small working groups and training sessions for parents as well. Of course, over coffee, perhaps when COVID moves on, we'll be able to do that in person. So helping to build a community as well as helping the children actually at the point of contact at their point.
And that community is really important, isn't it? Because I mean, speaking as a parent myself, I'm fortunate that we don't have any educational sort of special needs that we know at the moment, but even just having a community where you can talk about the frustrations and the challenges that you're dealing with, and to other people who understand that, is such an important resource, I think.
I agree. And I've met people who've just got so, in many ways, as much knowledge as a specialist in their mind, because they've read so much and just studied so much. So it would be an opportunity for sharing that, I think.
Brilliant. Okay. So one final question, one thing I'm really curious about is, you've launched a crowdfunding campaign, which seems perhaps an unusual way to go about starting up a venture like this. Why crowdfund?
Why crowdfund? A very good question. Well, the new Quest Learning Support and Therapy Hub will be a not-for-profit company. So we will be an Ipanshanan Hojin.
Okay.
Our financial modelling shows that we can become self-sustaining. To launch, however, and this is something that's been a barrier for a long time, and that's why it's taken us a long time to get to this point. But to launch, we need to get some startup money so that we can set up the hub. But more importantly, to be able to pay our staff salaries for the first few months as we build our client base. It's a kind of chicken and egg situation. We can't bring on clients until we've got specialists, but we can't bring on specialists until we've got clients. So we need, to use that, we need some cash flow just to get us going. Once we get going and we're meeting with families and we're starting to support children, and people are able to source support through us, it will build and we will be able to be self-sustaining. But to start off with, we need an injection of cash to enable us to appoint these specialist team onto the staff. We're going to start with 2 or 3 full-time staff members. So that's where we need to have some cash flow to be able to pay salaries right from the beginning.
Yeah. And you've got the physical space, I understand. So it's the personnel costs that you're looking to sort.
Yes, we will be right in the centre of town in Shiodoku, and the space itself will be a place where parents can come and meet, have consultations. We may do some assessments there, but actually the support will be either within school or at home. We will be able to run group sessions round by the hub as well. But actually the support will actually be off-site. But we have got the space now. And that's one of the reasons why suddenly the momentum has built, and there's been a need for a very quick solution to getting some cash flow going, because we recently found that we've secured the footprint of the space, and it seems like too good an opportunity not to just get started and just do this, because it's something that's really needed, and it's something we've been talking about for a long time. So we just need to coin the phrase, we just need to make this happen.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Well, I wish you all the best for this, and to anybody who's listening or watching, please go and find out more, look at the link, find out more about what Kirsten's doing with this hub, and if you can support it in any way to help make it happen, that would be absolutely fantastic. So all the best, Kirsten.
Thank you very much. We've got our crowdfunding link on our website, which is www.questlst.com, and there is a link directly there for people who'd like to make a contribution to that. Yes, the crowdfunding closes on the 30th of June, so we're motoring on this. But
time is of the essence.
Sorry?
Time is of the essence.
Time is of the essence, for sure, exactly. But I really appreciate you giving me the opportunity to speak this morning. So thank you.
Thank you very much.